Joining us today on the Valpo Baseball Preview is head coach Brian Schmack. Coach Schmack, hard to believe, but we're just a couple days away from the season opener down in Alabama. Weather hasn't cooperated thus far. In the past couple of years, you've been able to use the brown field turf, unable to do that. How's your team coping with having to use just the indoors?
Well, a lot of the guys, they don't know any better, to be honest. I mean, we've been outside, like I said, for the turf, but we've been able to, do some ground balls inside. Don't tell Bryce, but I've been able to do a couple of those things, and it's been good. We explained to it that this is how it is, and this is baseball in the North, and you kind of have to deal with it. So
sure. Let's go around the infield. First of all, you've graduated the backstop, first base, second base, and third base. Spencer Mahoney, the lone holdover from last year. So what can Crusaders fans expect from this new crop of young players?
Well, we've got guys that are hungry. Andy Burns played third base for us last year, most of the year, so he'll be over at second base. Bynum was here, he'll be at first base, and Nate Pallas, a freshman, is going to be over at third. So, like I said, a little bit of a new crowd, but it was a competition, and guys have earned it. So, guys weren't hand in position, so the guys that have earned it are going to do well.
Pitching has been the driving force for this team the past couple of years. The rotation, you've received a little bit of bad news this past week. What can you tell us about that?
Well, yeah, Dalton Lundeen came down with mono, so he was going to be our Saturday guy, and actually kind of waiting to see how long he's going to be out. Hopefully, it was something that he had for about a couple weeks, because they say 4 to 6 weeks. So we'll see. But we have enough depth. Guys are going to step up. I think Drew Hatzler's going to start that game Saturday and go from there. And then again, we'll just see who pitches well and slide them right in.
The outfield has been a bit of more consistency. Chris Manning, you'll have back, obviously, as a senior this year. Michael Mormon healthy for the first time in quite some time. So you've got some options out there, it seems.
Yeah, that's going to be a position we're definitely deep at. We've got about 5 or 6 guys that we definitely can trust in that position, and again, competition is going to be great, because having Mormon back is fantastic. I think he's going to be very underrated. Guys are overlooking him at this point, but we know what he can do. Manning, like you said, is a stalwart out there, and then center field, Mark Johnson had a great fall and was very competitive. Bryce Harr's kind of nursing some injuries, so that hurt him a little bit, but we've got a couple freshmen too that have been stepping up and can slide in, we feel, if somebody goes down.
In the back end of the bullpen, you've got Karch Kowalczyk coming off an all-conference, all-league season. Mahar's been about as dependable as you can expect the past 2 years. How are these other pieces kind of going to fit in there in the pen?
Well, we've got Ellis Foreman, Trevor Haas, Drew. Depends on what ends up happening with the starting spot. We've got some guys we feel that can be those starter/swing guys in the bullpen. So a couple other guys to fit in there, obviously before Ben, and I think we should be okay. I think that's hopefully going to be a strong suit for us this year.
Sure. For the players, there's been a level of continuity with you having been here for the past 7 years. Now, for you personally, how has your role evolved? Going into the head coach, you've talked about how there's just so many non-baseball things that you've had to, concern yourself with. How are you? You ready to go? Come Friday, or are you finally ready to just kind of focus on just in between the lines?
Yeah, actually looking forward to it. The Dominican was a great opportunity just to go out there and be a coach, and get that feeling of coaching, and it was great. I think. Like I mentioned earlier, we're not going to try and reinvent things. You just let the players play. So I'm looking forward to that. I've got some great assistants that are going to help out, and that was the biggest thing, was trying to let those guys coach and having the feeling that I had to do everything once I got here, instead of obviously focusing on the pitching and overseeing things, but let the offensive guys and defensive guys do their thing.
Sure. Okay. Well, that wraps it up for the Valpo Baseball Preview. As always, like Valpo Baseball on Facebook, follow Valpo Baseball at Valpo Baseball 1, and as always, check into ValpoAthletics.com for the latest news, scores, and standings. Until next time, go Crusaders.